What's up guys, Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles, and today we're going to continue with the recent theme, and I'm going to talk to you about why you should take a look at Capital One as an issuer in 2023. Now recently Capital One has taken some heat because they removed a pretty awesome benefit from the Capital One Venture X card after the card had been out about a year. That makes a lot of folks very suspicious of more changes coming for their flagship card after the honeymoon period. After so many folks made it their card of the year, people are starting to wonder how long it can offer so much value to so many of us consumers. But I, for one, actually think the future is bright for Capital One, and today I'm going to give you a few reasons why I think Capital One is a real player in this game and why you should maybe give them a look in 2023. Before I get started, for those of you that are new here, I talk about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, and travel. If you want to stay up to date on those topics, subscribe to the channel. I upload consistently and I'm always on topic. As always, if you get any value or entertainment from this video, or you just want to support the channel, slap that like button for me and the YouTube algorithm. It really helps. With all that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, let's see if we can find 5 reasons why you should give Capital One a chance as an issuer in 2023. First thing I can think of is Capital One, for all the buzz about the Venture X this past year, they still have what I think is one of the most underrated cards in the game right now, the Savor One card. Now, I'll quickly go over the card and I'll let you know why I think it's underrated. This is a no annual fee card that is marketed as a cash back card. It earns 3% back on dining, entertainment, streaming, and groceries. So right there, let's look a little deeper. If you're like me and you buy sports and concert tickets, there aren't a ton of cards that offer that as a multiplier. Season tickets for football can average maybe $3,000 a year, maybe way more if you like to sit somewhere nice. So some quick math, with a flat 2% cash back card, you'll earn 60 bucks. Now, I know we're talking about small numbers here, but that is kind of what we do all year long, right? Maximize very small numbers until we can get large rewards at some point. Anyway, the Savor will out-earn that card at either $90 or, since we all know that with Capital One, cashback can be converted to Capital One miles, giving us 9,000 miles. This is one of the reasons why this card is so underrated. I know YouTubers do a great job of letting folks know that this transfer is possible, but the vast majority of the public doesn't know, or they just don't do it. With 3 times multipliers on dining, entertainment, streaming, and groceries, we're talking about a huge improvement from a basic 2% cash back card. But this card also earns 8% back through Capital One Entertainment. So when you buy those Taylor Swift tickets, you can brag about how much cash back you got, even though you probably could have bought a used car instead. Another thing the card offers that doesn't get considered or mentioned much is it doesn't have foreign transaction fees. So that's one thing less to worry about when you are going to another country or overseas. Don't forget about the complimentary Uber One membership until November of 2024 either. If you use those services, that will save you a ton of cash. So with the least talked about card out of the way, let's talk about a card that gets talked about as much as any other card in the game. The Capital One Venture X. Now, there are plenty of online reviews on this card, so I'm not going to go into all the details, but I'll try to highlight some reasons why this card could make sense for a lot of people. First off, if you are not one of us that likes to have 25 open lines of credit and you only want 1 or 2, then this card makes sense for an awesome duo with the Savor One. If simplicity is your goal, maybe you're someone who has his focus on other things and you just want the best low maintenance setup, then this could be it. The card does a lot and you probably know most of what it does if you're watching this video, but here's why it fits so well in a duo. The Venture X is going to earn 10 times miles when you book hotels and rental cars through the Capital One travel portal. Now, here on the channel, we generally are not the biggest fans of travel portals, but that is something you have to concede with this setup if you want to maximize the credits. You'll earn 5 times on flights within the portal and 2 times on everything else across the board. This card essentially pulls double duty as the travel card and the catch-all card. It's worth mentioning this card comes with a premium $395 annual fee, but there is a $300 annual travel credit and 10,000 bonus miles each year you renew the card, and these two things really mitigate that annual fee. Most folks are considering this a net positive for the user. The Venture X also gives the user access to Priority Pass lounges, but has recently cut the Priority Pass restaurants benefit, which was really lucrative for some folks. Venture X cardholders also get access to the Capital One Airport Lounge. More on that in a minute. If you guys have ever watched the channel, you'd know how I feel about airport lounge access. If you travel even occasionally, you don't deserve to sit out in the terminal surrounded by Adam's kids with their iPads turned all the way up full blast and coughing on everyone. If you travel, you need lounge access. There are more perks than I can mention in this video, but just know that this is a full service travel card and a full service card in general. It has cell phone protection and car rental status as well. At the end of the day, with just 2 cards, you'll be getting 10 times miles on hotels and car rentals, 5 times on flights, 3 times on dining, entertainment, groceries, and streaming, as well as major acceptance and no foreign transaction fees. And don't forget 2 times on everything else. Enough about the Venture X. My third reason for taking a look at Capital One as an issuer is everything else points to Capital One being on a positive upswing. It seems like they are making a serious push to be a major player in this game. One thing worth noting as evidence of that is their Capital One Lounge at DFW in Dallas, Texas. Now, this is the only Capital One lounge at the time of this recording, but they're currently building one at Washington Dulles and one in Denver. This is what I will say about the lounge in Dallas. Most of you that watch the channel know that I'm an Amex fanboy, but when I'm connecting in Dallas, I will be visiting the Capital One lounge instead of the Centurion. It's that good. Reason number 4 shouldn't be much of a shock is the transfer partners. Capital One has some very good partners, and if you are wanting more information on using transfer partners, check out my series called Maximum Value Redemptions. Remember, elite members get early access to that series. You can support the channel by becoming an elite member for only $2.99 a month, and that will get you early access to that series, priority replies to your comments, and shoutouts. It's a great way to support the channel, and it allows me to do more unsponsored content. Click join below for more information. Now, I do want to mention a few things about the partners. When I first started, I thought they were confusing. I had no clue why I would ever fly a foreign airline until I realized I could book United flights on Aeroplan, or American Airlines flights with British Airways, or Delta flights through Virgin Atlantic, and it's normally a much better deal. Capital One has some of the best partners with the ability to rack up tons of Capital One miles. You can really make some memories with this duo. My final reason today is probably one that you don't hear very often, and that is companion products like Capital One Banking and the Capital One app. I've had a Capital One savings and checking account for years, and I'll probably always have them. I think they have one of the best apps in the game. Things like that are often overlooked, but I will say that my experience with Capital One's app for both credit cards and banking is head and shoulders better than my Chase experience. And I've banked with Chase for just as many years. Another product is Capital One Shopping. Don't sleep on all the offers they have to save you tons of cash by keeping you within their ecosystem. Very underrated products there. Guys, I have referral links with offers for both the Capital One Venture X and the banking accounts in the description. Check them out and see if their offers are competitive. Also, if you are not using something like Capital One Shopping or Chase Shopping, check out a retail shopping portal like Rakuten. I primarily use Rakuten for my online shopping, and I rack up tons of cash back. Use my link below and you can get $30 cash back on your very first purchase. Do it, it's free money. Well, that is all for me today, guys. I hope this video opens your eyes to options other than the big 2. And if you've stayed around all the way to the end, I appreciate you and I thank every single one of you.